All right, everyone. So let's talk about the Georgia runoffs. Everyone and their mama is talking about this story. I was not really that interested in this story. I wasn't really too enthusiastic about this story because right now I'm writing on a right wing pedophile ring that was in France, and that article will be coming out shortly. So I really wasn't that enthusiastic about looking into this story. But I keep hearing people talking about it. Everyone's talking about this story. So I decided, you know what? Why the hell not? Let's just look into the story. And why not educate myself on what's happening in the state of Georgia? So this is actually a very, very essential election because it's going to determine who controls the Senate. Republicans have controlled the Senate for a very long time now. And this election could switch things around to where the Democrats have control over the Senate. And if they get to that point, they will have control over the U.S. government, essentially, because they already have control over the House. They have the executive branch. So all they need now is the Senate. So Democrats have been hardcore campaigning and putting money into this. And the Democrat activists, liberal activists have been going door to door telling people to go vote for the Democrat candidates in this election. So you have Jon Ossoff, Democrat, and then you have the Reverend Raphael Warnock. That's right. He a pastor. He a reverend. Putting in that fear of God in the soul and the mind of America. That's why, he be running, be putting up on that pulpit power. He got that pulpit power. And then you have the Republican candidates. You have Kelly Loeffler and you got David Perdue. So you got Jon Ossoff versus Kelly Loeffler, and then you got the Reverend Raphael Warnock versus David Perdue. Now, the Republicans already have 50 seats in the Senate, so they have the advantage. The Democrats got technically 46 seats in the Senate. But if you include Bernie Sanders, who's an open socialist who knows that the only big dog he has to latch onto is the Democrat Party, and if you include Mr. Angus King, which is a really interesting name, it sounds like a restaurant. If you include Angus King and Bernie Sanders, the Democrats really have 48 seats. Angus King is something of an independent, although he votes mainly liberal. So he's, in a way, de facto a Democrat. The Republicans have 50 seats. So it's really 48-50, unless, of course, the Republicans can sway Mr. King off to their side in some issues. But for now, it's really 48 versus 50. If the Republicans just win one of the elections in Georgia, the Republicans will have 51 seats. Democrats will have 49 seats. The Republicans will still hold the majority. If the Republicans win both elections, then they will dominate the Senate, and that'll pretty much be the end of it. But if the Democrats win both, because Democrats really have to win both, if the Democrats win both, then it'll be 50-50. And the Senate will be split, but the Democrats will have the advantage over the Republicans, because guess who's also in the White House? That's right, y'all. Harris. Kamala Harris. Because according to U.S. law, if the Senate is 50-50, then the vice president is the breaker between that split. The vice president will have a vote, and if the vice president is a Democrat, then the Democrats have the advantage, and that is certainly the case. This has happened before. This happened back in 2000. There was a 50-50 split in the Senate, but the Republicans nonetheless had the edge because the vice president was Cheney. And Cheney put in a Republican to be the appointed a Republican to be, I want to say, the Senate Majority Leader, if I'm not mistaken. So the Republicans had an edge because the Republicans won the election, Bush versus Al Gore. But in this case, it's going to be the Democrats having the edge if there is a 50-50 split. So that's why this election is so intense and there's so much focus on it. So yes, Mr. Ossoff, I've read a little bit about him. He seems like a real asshole, actually. He is very pro-abortion. He gets support from NARAL, Pro-Choice America, NARAL, Pro-Choice America, which is a fanatical, infanticidal abortionist organization, and they support abortion all the way. They are essentially just murderers. And then you got the Reverend Raphael Warnock, who calls himself a pro-choice pastor. That's right, I'm a pro-choice pastor, putting in the fear of God in them unborn babies. And he supports abortion, even though he's a pastor, and Christianity, without a doubt, enthusiastically, wholeheartedly condemns abortion. But that don't matter right now because I got the power of God. That's right, because I'm a reverend. I'm the Reverend Raphael Warnock. It don't matter what the Bible say because my mind being of the innate, supernatural, and also other natural, my mind and my body. Let me just rephrase myself real quick. Just give me a chance right here, because let the Reverend Warnock just meditate and really ponderate on the reality of the surpassing and transcendent nature of my body. So because my body and my mind is of the other nature and supernatural dimension that is rooted back to ancient Egypt, I then have the authority to override what the Hebrews, whatever the Hebrews wrote in the Bible. So that's really all that matters at this point. So yeah, that's the case, guys. So people in Georgia, go out and vote. Go vote for Loeffler and go vote for Perdue. Loeffler, blonde woman. A lot of Americans like blondes, so maybe she'll win. I don't know. Let's hope for the best, guys. All right, that's my video on this. Hope you guys have enjoyed this message. That's really my thoughts on the issue. I'm working on an article right now, so don't really have the time to do heavy-duty research on this, but those are my thoughts on this. Anyway, you guys just heard some theology. God bless.